then what should you do at that moment when you start realizing I'm dealing with a malignant covert narcissist? The first thing to start doing is to start reconnecting with self. Many people wind up in a relationship with a covert narcissist because one, on a subconscious level, there's some kind of a familiarity, right? But regardless, what tends to happen is once they're in that relationship with the narcissist, you are always seeking safety outside of self. Think about it. Everything you do, if you've been in a relationship with a covert narcissist, whether it's a friend, family member, or significant other, is to make sure that the other person is happy. I have to do this so that they're not mad. I have to do this so that they're okay, so that they're happy, because there's a subconscious thought that if they're happy, then I'm safe. So you are consistently seeking to regulate them, to help them to stay calm and happy so that you can feel safe. And it never works, because no matter how much you try, they're never happy. They never allow you to have that felt sense of safety from within. And so we've lost touch with that after narcissistic abuse. And so you really want to start learning how to connect to the safety from within, not being dependent on how they are or how they respond. As long as you're physically safe. I just want to say that, okay? If you're not physically safe, and this is physical abuse on top of emotional abuse, then none of this advice is for you. Really getting out of that situation and finding physical safety is the priority. But for those that are being emotionally abused, you really want to start reconnecting with you. And that can be hard because you've probably been disconnected from yourself for so long. So if that's your case, again, I invite you to join Thriver School of Transformation, because it's what we do. It's what I specialize in, is really helping people to come back home and feel connected and safe in their body after narcissistic abuse. Okay. So that's one thing you want to start doing. Another way you can begin connecting to self is through validating your reality, validating your pain. Everything you wish the narcissist would say to you, my question is, are you saying that to yourself? So if you're working hard around the house, right? And you're like, oh, he or she never sees, nothing is ever good enough. Are you acknowledging and saying to yourself, you know what, you're pretty darn amazing. Like, you're a great husband. You're a great wife. I really appreciate how hard you work. I see your value. Okay. So we start taking the craving from outside of self and we start nourishing those emotional needs from within. The second thing is you want to begin putting down boundaries. With narcissistic abuse, there are no boundaries. You're not even allowed physical boundaries. I know people that weren't allowed to close the door to the bathroom when they took a shower or when they were in the bathroom. People that were not allowed to speak with their family members. They had to delete their family members, their mom's phone number if they spoke to their parent. There were no emotional boundaries. If you were happy, you were insulted, right? So you've probably lived a long time with no boundaries and trying to get the other person to see and respect you. The reality is they won't change. And that's a hard pill to swallow. But the other flip side to that is that you can begin learning how to enforce boundaries, even with difficult people. And I'll do a whole nother video just on that. And then the third thing you want to do is start really looking at what makes you happy, living life more for yourself. And this is going to feel so selfish, right? Because you've been trained, anytime you do something for you, you're bad or you're selfish. It's going to feel uncomfortable. But the reality is that you've probably been trying to make an unpleasable person happy, right? A person that refuses to make you feel like you are enough to make them happy. And that is eroding your self-esteem, your self-love, and your connection to self. And so recovery isn't just about changing with them, it's also changing with you and learning how to nurture and mend the pieces of you that have been disconnected and hurt. I won't lie, it's a journey. Recently, I had a client, we were doing some somatic experiencing, and he said to me, he's like, Michele, I didn't realize how much of a journey this was. I didn't realize that this is not an overnight thing. And it's not. And I don't say that to discourage you. I say that to be realistic. If you've been in narcissistic abuse for a long time, it's almost like we have to unlearn inside all the beliefs, the emotional states, the neural pathways that the narcissist conditioned you to be stuck in, and recreate them by learning to attune to your authentic self. And that takes a little bit of time. It takes effort. It's not always easy. It's not always comfortable, but it is always worth it. I will say this, if you don't do the inner work to heal, we can leave an abusive relationship with a narcissist. 10 years can go by and it will be as if no time went by. We can stay stuck in the same patterns, in the same challenges, in the same fears, in the same hypervigilance, in the same dissociation, in the same lack of self-image, lack of self-love, as if no time went by. And who wants to do that? So I want to encourage you, don't give up on you. It is a journey, but it is worth it.